Good morning. I gotta get it together. Well, that's just an abyss. Just trying to set that down there. Let's check the view out. Let's see what the view looks like. That's it. Oh, it opens from that end. Great view. It's just cars. I get to do the funnest thing you get to do when you stay in hotels. Try to figure these things out. See if I can do it one-handed. Oh. That's gonna be fun to get back in there. At least I got a cup of coffee. All right, so I'm pretty sure. Add water to the tank. I'm not looking. All right, that's probably too much water. So let's see. We've got English breakfast black tea. No, thank you. Donut shop decaf. What are we doing? Carbo blend. At least it's not unleaded. Right. Do that and puncture the top. Always. And then you just push that button, I think. Push large button. Yeah, that's correct. So, while that's brewing, I thought I'm gonna spend this morning just kind of talking to you guys for a minute before I get in the shower and have to go and get this day going. Now I just put some of this crap in it. Well, actually, it didn't brew yet, so I can just put the other cup down there, huh? I'm figuring it out, y'all. That's one of the things I will say. If there's anybody out there watching this, it's like, man, that's what I... Oh, come on now. What a mess. Anyway, that's fine. If there's anybody out there watching, it's like, their main question is, James, how, like, I'm in active addiction, or I've ran around, or I haven't quite settled down and started seeing success of my own. What's some of the tips that you give? And I'll tell you right now, this is one of the most important ones for me. It was way too much water. Is I have to the routine thing. I found the more I had things laid out for me, the more consistent I was as far as prep, and that's the little things. That's my coffee pot is the same. You know, I know where everything is first thing in the morning. I'm not like trying to figure my whole entire life out at 6 a.m. I know where that's at. My work clothes or whatever it is I'm going to wear that day is laid out the night before. And I know that's hard at first, but, you know, if you're going to laundromat and stuff like that, and I get it. I mean, we were doing that too. We started there, but we spent our Sundays in the laundromat until we got our own washer and dryer at that little house we lived in before we bought the house we have now. But it's just little things like that. It's just routine stuff to where you can actually focus on whatever it is you're doing business-wise and be way more successful at that, because you're not bogging yourself down with the little stuff. But wow, just making a cup of coffee sent me way off in the left field. But I don't know, man. I would have loved to have had somebody that was that relatable whenever I was first figuring it out and had my first job, finally got my license back, and was like, I'm actually going to do it this time. I wonder if there's a guy on YouTube that just did it. There's only a few years into kind of living a better life, and listen to what he says, and I'll try my best. An idea. I've never done this before, but I'm kind of scrambling because I just read the itinerary, and it doesn't look like I'm going to have a lot of time for a whole lot of this today, except for maybe after. So let's read some comments and and answer comments on the last like day or two video. There's been some pretty huge videos the last couple days, especially having got in there. That's huge. Regardless if it gets 2 views, it's huge to me because she's everything to me. So yeah, let's do that. All right, I got you guys pulled up here. It seems to never fail to. Every time I stay in a hotel, I always find, because they rarely have any really decent channels. I watched Dr. Phil while I ironed my suit last night, but it's always that HLN Forensic Files. Every time, it's weird that it always ends up on that channel, and I'm listening to some weird, Peter Thomas, I think's his name, that narrates it. Great narrator, but you gotta wonder about that opening and closing scene where it's a big old like beaker or bowl of like some reddish green liquid that they just swirl around. I don't think it has any scientific value, right? Or like the camera guys are coming in there. The scientists are like, the actor scientists are like, what do you want me to do? And they're just like, be science-y.
And they're like, I can swirl a beaker of some fluid.
This is legit what my mind does when I first wake up. First comment I see is from Daniel Fox, 3199. He says, Ted Nugent is my uncle. Wait a minute, are you serious? You listen to all the old songs I love, says Eshnik. Well, and you got my vote because I love those too. You get bored very easily, don't you? 3 laughing emojis. Love the vlogs. I can see the title to the truck being all yours real soon. Safe travels. That's an awesome comment. That one comes from Carol Sloan, 8205. All right. Love the song choices. Mike Perone. Yes, sir. Precious Miller #1 says, like what your t-shirts say, smile more. Precious Miller, you're missing out if you don't. Why am I telling you on here? I'll just tell you right here. Watching the replay. I see a lot of people saying that, and I think it pertains more to like lives, and maybe they think they miss, like these don't really go up live, I guess. All right. Redact Dice Clay. I'm assuming it has something to do with Andrew Dice Clay, but it's Redact Dice Clay. He says, hate to be the guy, but 1967 quarters do not contain silver. Really? 1964 was the last year, other than proof sets. Still good gesture, but Google 1967 quarter content. And on eBay, people ask all kinds. Yeah, you got to check the sold list. I completely understand that. You go ahead and like that comment first before I head on over to Google. Is there 1967 quarters with silver? 1967 quarter struck on 90% silver planchet. See, that's what I heard, was that it's 90% silver, 10% copper. But I could be wrong, and I am quoting, this is from Coin Week. That's the first thing that pops up whenever I Coin Week. Let's click on that link. Man, idiot, dude. I feel like an idiot now. The growth of fractional coins in the United States reached levels in 1967, more than 7.2 billion pieces struck. 1967 Washington quarter is worth roughly $7.50 to $10. Anyway, I appreciate you letting me know. Redact Dice Clay. Wish I would have known that before I made a whole video about it, though. But whatever. There was something different about that quarter. It sounded different, and then I hit the quick Google search, and it told me that. But, hey, I got people to comment for me, and that's getting me one step closer to paying that truck off, baby. Woo! Little Leg Day says, at the 4-minute mark, I know a guy that can maybe make you a leg for that thing. That was on my tripod. Well, I'm looking for it. It's sitting right here. I really, really need to do something about that. I will take a picture of it now and layer it on top of this and show you guys what I'm talking about. I've managed to get it to set on 2 legs, but it's not that great. But thanks for the comment, and I will like that comment there. T. Dameron 4185 says, "Damn it, now I'm going to pull out my piggy bank designated for 1980s coins and older and see what I have." See, that's what happens. That's how misinformation gets spread. I seen one Google search that said, yes, it's silver, and then I said that to you people, and now all these other people think that it's still unclear to me. Thanks, T. Dameron. Missy Beach, frequent commenter, she says, "I hate getting bored in a car driving hours, so I do exactly what you did. Sing, dance, act like a little crazy. So when people pass me and give them a smile." Yeah, I definitely gave a couple people a smile yesterday. And now I have my grandbabies dancing and singing right along with me. Keep it, paying it forward, paying it forward. Buggy's Town Jam says, Buggy's Toe Jam. You can see why I thought it'd be the other thing first, but now that I look at the picture, there is a picture of a foot with jam in between the toes. So, props to you for giving your men props and boosting their morale. You have to, dude. I'm gonna reply with always. Yes, sir, you have to, man. AC reminds me of how I'd never turned my radio down when I got home. Next morning, I'd get the hell scare out of me. That's from Advent 1773. Yeah, the AC's beginning to be a problem. I need to do something about that. Paranormal Gamer 4440, I've seen you a couple times lately. I've got to say, you are inspiring me to push myself, and much respect on telling your guys you appreciate them. That's what I was just talking about a minute ago. You know, I don't know where you are in your life, Paranormal Gamer, but sounds like you're on the grind, because the only people who care about being inspired are people who want to be inspired, and they're trying to do better. So that's awesome, man, and I appreciate your comments. JMP Archives 8826 said, "That was some of the best air piano I've ever seen. You should see my air guitar. It's unmatched, man. It's unmatched." Here's a perfect comment from Jeremy Williams. "Sound like the convenience store at work. It sounds like the convenience store I work at, LOL, but working on getting my license back, and I'll be able to find different employment." Hell yeah, brother. Listen, that's awesome, dude. And you can get them back. I don't know what the issue is, but I promise you can figure it out. And the reason I say that, let me heart your comment before I forget. The reason I say that is, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I may still have the letter somewhere. It's an old letter. I carried it around because it was unbelievable to me that a United States citizen could get a letter like this. But I got a letter in the mail from the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Said, "Mr. James Horner, this is a notice to inform you that your license has been suspended from March 3rd, 2006 to indefinite." In big, bold letters. And I remember thinking, well, golly, indefinite. And people would ask me, like, "What's your license suspended? What do you got to do to get it back?" What, you know? And I was like, I got a life sentence of no license. And so, as you can imagine, 2006, I was only 2 years out of high school, so I may have been 20 years old. Just, it saddens me now to think about it, because one of my workers is in his early 20s, and this kid, he comes into work talking about his mortgage and having to take out of his savings to catch up on this and that, and how, comes to me because he's like, "I need more hours," and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, you are so mature. But he had a good upbringing too. That's a whole nother story I don't even want to get into, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can have the worst upbringing in the world, and still that doesn't hold you. You can still do whatever you want to do. And it just feels that much better when you do, because you know, people will see that, people are like, man, that kid went through the worst stuff. You could be one or two people, right? You can be that kid that's like, yeah, you know, I shouldn't say kid, but young man, where that people look at and go, yeah, that young man, he's struggling, man, and he bounces around one government housing to the next, or this friend's couch or that friend's couch, and doesn't have a license, doesn't really have a car or a decent car, and just kind of works these shit jobs. But you know, to be fair, he was in foster care and had kind of rough parents, and you know, you could be that young man, or you could be the young man that people are like, dude, did you see so and so man bought his own house? He's talking about buying a second one. You know, he got himself a new muscle car. He's working, he's really climbed the ranks, and now he's like basically his own boss. And did you know that guy came from a real rough childhood and terrible parenting? You know, like his parents were awful. Like, you could be one of those two people. The choice is up to you. It's not, there's nothing else that's going to hold you back but yourself. But dude, I look forward to it. Jeremy Williams, man, I hope to see a comment here in the up. I know it takes time, so you're 3-6 months or whatever, I'm not going anywhere. I hope you're not either. But I want to see a comment from you that says, man, I got my license back. And I tell you what, email me. My email's in the description of the channel. Email me and let me know what it is that you're trying to figure out. Obviously, I can't help monetarily because I don't have a lot of money myself. I'm still trying to figure that out. But if you need some advice, or if I can point you in the direction of what I did to get mine back, you know, and now I have a commercial license. Jeremy, I have a commercial license? It says I can drive a semi-truck? Which I know everybody pointed out it's a box truck. Fair enough. But I have a license that I can drive either one of them, so eat it. Pancake. It is 7:04. I better get in the shower. They'll never know. Yo! Only getting away a little bit. I gotta go buy toothpaste. The one thing I forgot to buy is This is not my truck. To be fair, right? Are we being fair? It's the same kind. There you are, you beautiful son of a. Yeah, I gotta go buy toothpaste. How did I forget that? Huh. Turns out it works just fine when you have the right truck. I have a pole blocking it, but it's not every day you see a sign that has two notoriously rough cities on the same sign, right? And I'm talking about Chicago and Detroit, baby. Come to a big city like this, or just a new city in general, you want to see the attractions, right? I do anyway. So that's this first minute I got to get out. So I'm gonna go see something cool. And I haven't, it's only 4:28. I haven't had a chance to edit this morning's video. So I don't want to speak on it because I don't know what I'm going to leave in there, what I'm going to take out. You'd be surprised how much doesn't make the final cut. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I know for a fact I'm going to leave in the comment reading because that was fun to me. You guys are awesome, man. And gee whiz, I said the little bit of research I did on that coin. But nah, I'm just teasing, man. I appreciate it. I wish you guys could have told me sooner and I didn't look like an idiot, man. Now I have to tell Roman, like, dude. But you gotta admit, Google is kind of confusing, right? It's misleading. There's different things. I mean, the jury's still out because apparently certain mint sets have silver. I'm not, you know what? I'll let the coin channels do their thing and I'm gonna do mine. I think you guys like mine. Whoa. This place is huge. I've never seen nothing like it. Those are some top-notch quality dad jokes, James. Unfortunately, the ones that were paying attention when I said I needed toothpaste were probably like, oh, we already know. We already know where this is going. But you gotta do something alive. What's up, buddy? Hell yeah. So what's up?
What's up, Rod?
I appreciate it. That company on that truck said Aya Freight. It was like looked like a construction truck, but it said Aya Freight. So that's the difference. Man, you go to some small towns, people see the camera and they're like, you know. When you come to big towns like this, they're like, tell a lie. I said, what's up? All right, I just need toothpaste, man. I know this has been a short video. I think, anyway. I haven't edited it yet, but I'm going to end it off here either way. But I do want to say this. I want to wrap back around to what I was talking about earlier and in there, because it was one of the first things that was on my mind when I woke up. So hopefully it made sense. And that was me trying to reach out to the ever common man out there, to the people who have had similar struggles, who can't picture this. I remember that. I would have looked at somebody like me out in public, you know, in a whatever, you know, collared shirt and some slacks and dress shoes, and been like, yeah, that dude, he'd never understand me. He'd never get where I come from. So, that dude, right? Or you can't see your side. Trust me, it's not lost on me, and I want to do whatever it is I can do to get as many of you guys who may still, like I said this morning, maybe still in active addiction and trying to get out of, or maybe in that transition period where you're on Suboxone and you sneak and drink on the weekends with Suboxone, which I'm not even going to touch drinking. AA and NA are two different things, obviously, but don't ever think that that's just it because you were an addict or you got in trouble or you went to prison or whatever. Like, because that mentality will get you nowhere, right? And I still struggle with it. Got struggles with it along with. We've had countless conversations where we're both like, man, we just feel like we don't really fit in as well as people are trying to make us think we do. But I mean, I'm literally drinking a cocktail or a beer next to some guy who wrote a best-selling book, right? Or some guy who is a marketing guru who's smart enough to project what's going to happen with a company as big as Google. And 7 years ago, I was in a homeless shelter working at a factory making dashboard parts for $9 an hour. And I had to drive an hour to get there. So, listen, if nothing else whatsoever, is you see this right here and go, well, shoot, I could do that. You know, I'll slowly wean myself off of Suboxone. I will get a standard job. I'll build my credit up. A couple of Capital One credit cards. That's all I did. Is we called and asked what was the payoff balance for this debt I owe you. I mean, I know I owe you $800 for this debt, but what's the payoff right now? And they were like, $450, whatever, right? And we did that for each and every one of them until I was approved for a credit card. Got a credit card, paid just a few things with it here and there, and then made that payment every month for a couple months. And then all of a sudden my credit score was good enough to buy a house. And, you know, within that transition of buying that house, transitioning into like an ownership type of leadership position, it just every year got better and better and better and better. And it's going to keep you. If this is what I can do in 7 years, come see me in 10, right? But I'm dead serious. And check, my email's in the description if like you have some questions about like, how did you get off of Suboxone, or how did you get to this point? How did you get to that point? What do you think? Should I do this? Should I do that? That sort of thing, man. Like, and I'll be more glad to answer as many of them as I can and do anything that I can do to help somebody. I just don't want And the reason I think that was on my mind when I first woke up this morning wasn't because, hey, I need to figure out content. I need to figure out something to talk to them about. No, it was, even though this is like the 7th one of these things that I've been to business trip wise, and it's still the first thing I think about when I wake up is, man, they don't really know James, do they? If they really knew who I was, they wouldn't have James here. But that's that negative thinking. That's that devil just trying to convince you to self-sabotage and to do something to ruin it. And you can't do it. You got to keep on keeping on, baby. Real quick, man, I just noticed we have got the Harper Creek Beavers taking the field. Go Beavers! What is it? Yeah, I was leaving. I gotta go to work. I gotta pay off this truck, baby. Woo!